Hey everyone. Hey, it's good to be back with you again this morning. So how have you been doing these last few days? It's been more of the same, just kind of a lot of bad news. And this morning I want to get just real with you. All right, that's why I'm here in my lovely Tony Soprano tracksuit, because I just want to get real and tell you how I've been feeling. These past couple of days, I've had kind of a lot of ups and downs, and it's all just been so overwhelming at times. Seems like I've been having more downs than ups. Just kind of seems like we're in a dream or a movie, like a scene out of The Walking Dead or something. We just kind of feel like we're just kind of zombies walking around. There's a passage in Psalms where at one point David says, "My soul is downcast within me." That word downcast is a term to describe sheep when they somehow get turned over on their backs. And when they get downcast, when they get turned over, they can't right themselves by themselves. And so if somebody doesn't come and help them get back on their feet, their legs go numb and they're very, very vulnerable to predators. It's a very dangerous situation. And I think that kind of describes our world right now. I feel like we're just kind of, as a world, as a nation, we're just kind of downturned and we can't seem to get back up. In fact, we talk about the downturn in the economy. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to get real with you. I had a meltdown a couple days ago right here in my office. And I did. I had been doing things that I tell you not to do. I'd been spending too much time reading the news, watching these videos of these doctors and nurses in tears when they get off of their shifts because they just can't keep up with everything, and just so much death and destruction. And I just kind of had a meltdown. I just kind of lost it. There are things that I feel very strongly about, did and still do, that were just really, really aggravating me, and I just kind of lost it. And God and I had a talk, or rather I had a talk, and God hopefully listened to me. Um, but I was just like, God, how in the world can this be happening in the 21st century in the United States of America? God, how can this be happening? What in the world is going on? And I just let him have it. I just let it all out, and let me tell you something. Here's what I believe. I think it's okay. I think it's okay to have a meltdown every once in a while. So I just want to give you permission to allow yourself to have a meltdown or two, where you just pour out your heart to God, and you just get real with him about whatever it is you're feeling, whether it's anger or frustration or whatever it is, and don't sugarcoat it. Don't sugarcoat it. Just let God have it, because he can take it. Shoot, I think God is just glad whenever we talk to him, even if it is venting. You say, "Well, Chris, that's blasphemous. How could you say that?" Well, come on, let's just get real. Let's just drop this pious, hyper spiritual veneer that too many Christians seem like they have to maintain, as if we're robots and we don't have doubts or concerns, or we don't get angry, we don't get frustrated, we don't get sad. Let's just get real with God that life is hard. And so we just need to acknowledge that. I mean, isn't that what Job did in the Old Testament? He had about everything happen to him, right, that we fear might happen to us. And he finally had a meltdown, and he just kind of let God have it with both barrels. And for several chapters, Job just vented and just unleashed on God. And God listened, and God responded. Isn't this what Jesus did? In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus was so anguished. It says that he sweat drops of blood, and he cried out to God. And remember, he did this 3 times. "Lord, is there any other way? Like, is there a plan B? God, please take this cup of suffering from me." In fact, Hebrews 5:7 says, during Jesus' life on earth, he offered up prayers and petitions, fervent cries, and tears to God. That's what he was doing in the Garden of Gethsemane. In fact, there's a whole part of the Bible written by the prophet Jeremiah, and it's all about lamenting. It's all about just talking to God about what's going on with God's people. In fact, it's called the book of Lamentations. It's just one lament, one kind of meltdown. Jeremiah The prophet was pastoring God's people at a very, very hard time when it seemed like everything was falling apart. Everything was going wrong. I don't know if that sounds familiar or not. And he just tells it like it is. Lamentations chapter 2, verse 1, Jeremiah says, "My eyes fail from weeping. I am in torment within, and my heart is poured out on the ground because of my people and how they're destroyed. Children and infants faint in the streets of the city." And it says in verse 2, "He has driven me away and made me walk in darkness rather than light. Indeed, he has turned his hand against me, and all day long my soul is downcast within me." He just pours his heart out to God and just has this meltdown and gets real with God. And he just kind of lets God have it, so to speak. And it's okay to do that, but don't stay there. In Lamentations 3:19, he says, "My soul is downcast." But then right after that, in Lamentations 3:21, Jeremiah then remembers, after he vents, he remembers, and he says, "Yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness, O God. The Lord is my portion, therefore I will wait for him. It is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord." So allow yourself a meltdown or two, and don't feel guilty. We're human beings. We feel things. We get discouraged. We get anxious. We get upset at suffering. But don't stay in meltdown mode. Jesus didn't. He said, "Nevertheless, Lord, your will be done." Job didn't stay in meltdown mode. He said, "Now I can see that there are things that I don't understand, God, and whether you give or whether you take away, Lord, blessed be your name." And Jeremiah, for all of his sorrow and lament, he didn't stay in meltdown mode either. Again, right after he cried out to God, and he said, "My soul is downcast within me," he said, "Yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail, and they're new every morning." They're new every morning. And it will come. It will come. There will be a new morning. We will someday step out of this foggy, gray day, this sort of waking dream that we've been stumbling through, and there will be a new morning. So here's what I want to leave with you today. It's okay to get real with God. Yell, scream, pound the table, have a meltdown, tell God all about it. Don't hold back. In other words, let God have it. But don't stay in meltdown mode. After you have let God have it, then you need to let God have it. Your fear, your pain, your sadness, your anxiety, whatever it is that you're feeling about all of this, take it to him. Tell him about it. But then leave it with him. Let God have it and leave it with him. And then you can say with Jeremiah, "Lord, I have confidence and I have hope. Because of your great love, O God, I will not be consumed." God, I thank you that your compassions never fail. I thank you that they are new every morning. And so I will trust and I will have hope. And God, I'm going to wait on you. I'm going to wait on you because truly, God, great is your faithfulness. And that is my prayer for you today, that you'll remember that his mercies are new every morning, that it's okay to let God have it. But then you need to just let God have it. So thanks for joining me today. Now, tomorrow is an important message, and I really want everybody to watch it because I'm going to be sharing with you one of the most secret, one of the most closely guarded, dark secrets that nearly every pastor shares. In fact, this secret is so heinous that I actually told my mom. I told my mom this deep, dark secret that most pastors have, and she shrieked in horror at this confession of her pastor son. So you're going to want to come back tomorrow because I need to share what that is with you and how it can change your life. Have a good day. Take care and God bless.